Welcome back, folks, to Let's Replay Lands of Lore, A Throne of Chaos, in what might be the last video of the game. For now, we have absolutely everything we need to actually rescue and cure King Richard. So, let's ignore all these enemies, and just head north, and do some resting first. Basically, the game up until this point has been geared towards a massive fetch quest, where we've been trying to find the 4 ingredients of the elixir, and to the extension that would then become the actual elixir itself, the 4 keys to open the shroud, and 4 statues, which we're going to use in the actual rescue and curing of King Richard. Beyond that, there's also the additional search for 2 keys that we're going to use to open the door to where Scotia is, which is what we did, and also the Ruby of Truth, and by extension, one more item that we have also managed to, or rather will recover pretty soon. But we've managed to gain access to it by extension of having the stuff we need to cure King Richard. So basically you could say that this game is one very massive fetch quest for items, but most of these games are actually, by that extension, very massive fetch quests for items. Also, we need to make sure here that we don't die horribly. We don't want to get all this way and then die. So let's just kill this one here with magic and then move on. We'll move on over this way, and we'll find a door that we can shut so that we can rest, because we don't want to get killed by an enemy at this point. Let us now rest and move on. With ourselves healed and revitalized, there isn't actually that many more enemies we need to face. Apart from the ones that we've already met, there's only technically one foe that we haven't yet encountered, and that would be Scotia. We've encountered Scotia in one transformed form, but not actually Scotia herself. We will encounter Scotia, that is, because she's the final boss of the game, but we need to get there first. Also, we really need to not deviate now, because the more we deviate, the more we'll encounter enemies like this one here. And this is not going to be very good at all. Also, we can quite comfortably just use magic there. We are pretty much at the point now where we will be using the Keiran key, the last key that we'll be using in the actual game. I believe you could actually you could use this key before you use the keys to open Scotia's, basically the final boss area, but we aren't doing that just now. We've done it this way round. And now, all of our fetch questing is now going to prove dividends. Let's go save King Richard.
My liege!
Relax, Paulson. He appears unharmed, but our shroud has been tainted.
What can we do?
We must dispel the dark shroud, and then we can heal Richard.
Ah, there are multiple things we need to do here.
Bad luck. Darkness has further imprisoned our liege.
Yes, indeed it has.
We must find a way to free the king.
We will find a way to free the king.
We must find a way to free the
That
king.
is what those statues are for. You see this light?
'Tis a ray of hope.
It is a ray of hope. Is this going to work?
Maybe that will do something.
Maybe it will. It didn't do the right thing. It basically just bounced the light back upwards.
'Tis a ray of hope.
We don't want that one.
Maybe that will do something.
Nope, that's wrong too.
A breakthrough, perhaps?
Indeed, that is a breakthrough. It is now indicating to this pedestal.
The light follows its path.
It does.
Ah, a pattern is developing.
It is indeed. We use a statue to illuminate at the pedestal.
Light brightens the day.
It does.
Outstanding! I think I've got it.
Well, considering the fact that there's only one more pedestal and one more statue, Keiran, I'd be surprised if you didn't.
Darkness cannot stand the light.
Okay, Paulson, we don't need the running commentary, thank you. Let us now dispel the darkness of the shroud.
I knew we could do it.
Indeed.
Brilliant. The shroud is restored.
Quickly, we must heal Richard.
Now we hear this music again that we haven't heard for a very, very long time. And quite literally, light banished the darkness. Now we must put the keys back.
Each key must be returned to its proper location.
Ah, Paulson's was not there.
It fits.
There. Dawn's was there. Jaren's was there. And by logic, Nathaniel's was here.
Let us supply the elixir now.
No, let's not. I think we'll just leave him to die. Of course we're going to apply the elixir to him. We've gone all this way. We might as well heal him. If only so that we can hear Patrick Stewart's final voice lines in the game. Drink well, King Richard, and be restored.
Elvni, Warven, Talamari, Conix Ver Ignati.
I can tell by the foul stench that I must be in Cimmeria.
Yes, my liege.
It appears that I owe you all a debt of gratitude, but it must wait. What of Scotia? Has she been vanquished? Scotia is said to be in the castle, but how shall we defeat her? She has changed form to thwart us on many occasions. Take this ring, the shard of truth. Legend says that only truth can reveal the nether mask and foil the hag. I am too weak to join your group. I would merely slow you down.
Your Highness, how shall you defend yourself?
If you could spare a weapon, I would be grateful.
We have many weapons at our disposal. I mean, we have the crossbow here, we have various scrolls and wands, and this great sword Doom, and that axe. We have countless weapons that we could offer you, King Richard, but I have one perfectly in mind. I have this stick that I've been carrying all this time. Surely that will be a perfect weapon. It's a fine stick, finely crafted out of wood. Will you accept this fine blade?
Thank you, Keiran. You are a noble subject.
I knew that stick would be perfect. Let us now leave. There is nothing more we can do here. And with that, when we go in here, he is gone.
Richard is gone. We should make haste. He may try to challenge Scotia by himself.
No, I'm pretty sure he's not going to do that. Also, now we have the Ruby of Truth, which, if you notice, has a tiny hole in it there. Just see that there? And the Shard of Truth. If we combine the two, we get the whole truth. Only the truth can defeat the Nether Mask. That was a very literal statement. Now we are going to go and defeat Scotia. There is nothing more for us to do here. We must go and defeat her. And that involves going all the way back up to the 3rd floor and doing battle. And hopefully defeating her. Hello! Here's that problem that I said I'd left myself earlier. But it's easily defeatable with a lot of Mists of Doom spells. There we go! Marvellous. We should probably rest here. In fact, here's actually a very dangerous place to rest. The 3rd floor would actually be safer. There are a few things that we could do. I mean, in theory, we could actually go back to other locations in the game at this point. We do actually still have access to them. We still have access to the Gorka Swamps and Wyvil City. We still have access to a lot of places, but there's no reason to actually go to any of them. Right now, the only thing we really should be doing is heading up to kill Scotia. Once again, we have lost access to the way back, but we do have pits, should we need them. We have opened the way to actually fight and defeat Scotia here, so let's save at the end of the Let's Play. For, with Scotia defeated, the game will be over, And just out of curiosity, let's assemble all of the consumable items that we most certainly have not been using. We didn't actually need to use any of these Aces of Oblivion or Infinity. We also have this wand that we are most likely going to use, because we're not actually going to gain enough actual skill in magic to use Mists of Doom for. So, let's save here, because once we step through here, we are actually trapped. There is no way that we can actually get out of here. There is a small area here that has Scotia.
So, you worthless dogs have come to your deaths.
It is you who will breathe your last, Scotia.
Ha! You brought my ruby and its shard to me. That fool Richard actually believes the old tale that they may defeat my nether mask. It is folly. They shall give me even more power.
Not if we use them quickly, like this. By quickly using them on your portrait there, or any of the portraits, it uses the mask and, well, actually dispels the mask, rather. It used the ruby to dispel the mask, and thus, Scotia is now no longer able to actually transform. She could still use magic, but she really can't actually transform anymore. Which, will mean pretty much that she's doomed, because have some Mists of Doom, Scotia! And more Mists of Doom! There is no chance that she stands against all of the consumables we have. We have a lot of Mists of Doom, and a lot of screaming. That might be it. Nope, still more. Well, we can most certainly keep fighting you. Oh, that's a lot of screaming. Is that your actual, like, damage sound? It is! Wow, I did not know that from the actual first playthrough. That is really loud. That is really loud. Do you know what we need to deal with this? We need to deal with, basically, more aces. Have more Mists of Doom! Have more Mists of Doom! And even more Mists of Doom, Scotia! How about these Guardian Orbs?
Well struck. That looks like a mortal blow.
It was.
Fool! My death will not save you from our wrath!
Congratulations, Keiran. You have served me well. We will remember you as our greatest champion.
A luckier adventurer Gladstone never saw.
It has been a pleasure serving with you.
And that indeed is the end of Lands of Lore. The battle with Scotia is actually a little anticlimactic if you have all of this consumable equipment there, although I didn't remember there being the loud screaming sound whenever she got hurt. That indeed was a little bit loud, and I do apologise for that, but that is indeed the final fight. Very easy indeed if you know what you're doing. You basically need to take Richard's lesson to heart about the whole truth being able to defeat Scotia quite literally. And here, as we look at the credits, the enemies scroll by and introduce themselves. Not by name, but by animation. And indeed, that is the end of Lands of Lore, the Throne of Chaos. There is nothing more beyond this, save that the credits will repeat themselves. There are the gnolls that we never actually got to fight there. And indeed, the first of the replay Let's Plays over. And I have to say, it has been a joy and a pleasure to play through Lands of Lore, the Throne of Chaos again. Hopefully better than I did the first time round, although I'm sure I made some of the same mistakes I did the first time as well. It's still, even to this day, a game that I hold very, very closely to my heart. Also, there's no crossbow in your hand there, Pentrog. Curious thing there. But this game indeed is still something that I'd say is one of my favourite games still. It has aged in some regards, mainly the movement system has indeed not aged well compared to other games, but still, the story is something that I really enjoy, the combat is very smooth, and basically it is a fantastic game, and this music is really loud, I think. I can only apologise for that. I do remember the music in this being very loud. And that indeed is the first of the replay Let's Plays finished. And not the last either. I will definitely be doing... Oh, there's an enemy that we never saw. I'm sure we might see it in another video, perhaps. This definitely will not be the last of them. Also, here's the cast, if anyone is curious. The players indeed. There are all of the voice actors. Fantastic jobs that they all did. And I don't know why the Archer Slug there didn't move all the way down. But I will definitely be doing more replay Let's Plays now that I have the general settings for being able to do them quite well. Down pat, that is. I most certainly will be doing another one after this one. And I've even decided which one it's going to be, too. Also, they have the leader of the orc band there, the voice acting. I like that. So, while this indeed is the end of Lands of Lore, this is not in fact the end of the saga of Lands of Lore. There are 2 other games that I played through previously, and while I'm not going to play either of those immediately, there are other games. Also, that top bit of graphic there with the faces, that was never actually seen in the game. It's only seen here. There's the Spirit of Warning. I like that the Spirit of Warning got a credit, that was good. But, I know which one I'll be playing next. I know which one, I'll have to do some tests for it, and hopefully it'll be a new experience to play through it again. Many, many years from the last time I played through it. Many years indeed. But that indeed was Let's Replay Lands of Lore, the Throne of Chaos. I'm Kikoskia, and when we come back, folks, new adventures. Keiran, hero of the realm. Good going, Keiran. Good going. And I'll see you then. Until then. Later.